Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I'd like to do another Try a Chapter Tag. I've already done 2 of these in the past, and I did them using samples of books that I had downloaded to my Kindle. This time I have actual physical books. 2 of them are books that I just found out about within the last few weeks, and the other 3 are books that are on my TBR for this month, and I couldn't decide which one to read first, so I just started all of them. And so I thought it would be a good excuse to do a Try a Chapter Tag so I could tell you about them. A few weeks ago, one of my subscribers, Catherine Stevens, who was also responsible for telling me about the Harmony series by Philip Gulley, which I love, she told me that I should also try the Cherry Cola Book Club by Ashton Lee. And I looked them up immediately. They just looked adorable. And so the next time I was at a library, I looked on the shelf and they had a few of them. It's a whole series. So there were about 3 of them on the shelf at this particular library where I was. And so I just decided to go ahead and check out the first one. And on that particular day, I had a little bit of extra time, and so I just sat down in the library and I read the first chapter. Now, this was a few weeks ago. I've had this checked out since then, and I've been wanting an excuse to show it to you, so I keep renewing it, and now it is on its last day. I have got to take it back to the library tomorrow. I can't renew it anymore. So I wanted to tell you just a little bit about it. Now, this when this was recommended to me, it was compared to the Philip Gulley Harmony series, which is a really funny, humorous series, but it also has an inspirational twist. This I don't think is going to have any kind of a inspirational theme, but it is very bookish. It is about a librarian. From what I've read of it so far, I have learned that this librarian is in danger of losing the library. It's in a small town in Mississippi, and there's just not enough people using the library, and the town council wants to I don't know if they want to tear it down or just take over the building and put something else there. They want to basically put their budget somewhere else. And so she has 5 months, I believe, to turn the library around and prove that it is something valuable to the community. And I think it's a great premise. I'm really excited about reading it. Now, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it quite as much as the Philip Gulley series, simply because this one is going to be, not as clean. There's already a little bit of bad language. Not horrible, but some. But I think it's still going to be a really fun book, and I definitely want to read the series. I'm not going to read it this month, though, because February is almost done, and in March I'm only going to do mysteries, of course, for March Mystery Madness. So I put this on my list of 17 series to start this year, and I definitely will be coming back to it at a later date in this year. Now, that same day, while I was in the library, I was just walking around, browsing around, and I saw this book at the end of a shelf so that the cover was clearly visible, and it caught my eye because the title of it is Happy People Read and Drink Coffee. Wow. Those are like 2 of my favorite things to do, read and drink coffee. And this is by Agnes Martin-Legand. It is a French book. This is translated from French by Sandra Smith. And I read the first chapter of this, and I skimmed the second chapter, and I think I want to come back to this one too. Already there's some things in this book that I don't really care to read about either, but I think I can overlook it enough to, to read the book, because the main character is it talks about the main character, and her drinking and smoking and things like that, and I'm not crazy about that, but part of the reason that she's doing that is because at the beginning of the book we learn that a year prior to this, she has lost her husband and daughter to a car accident. And so she's been grieving for this whole year, and her friend is trying to give her a pep talk and just trying to coax her out of the house and tell her that, it's been a year, your husband, your daughter, they would want you to keep living. And one of the things in her life is a bookstore. She owns a literary coffee shop called Happy People Read and Drink Coffee, and she apparently has not even set foot in it since her husband and daughter have died. And so her friend has been running it. He's trying to encourage her to go back to the cafe and just kind of get back into life. And so that's basically what is happening in the first couple of chapters. I don't really know what direction it's going to go in, but I'm assuming that it's going to have themes of healing and facing life after a tragedy, and it sounds like a great book, and the title is just absolutely fabulous. So that's what drew it to me, and I do want to read this at some point in the future. I'm just not sure when. Now, the other 3 books are books that I have on my current TBR, and I couldn't decide which one to pick up next, so I just decided to start them all. And the first one of the 3 that I did pick up is Christmas in Lucky Harbor by Jill Shalvis. Now, don't let this deceive you. This is not a Christmas book. This is actually the first 2 books in the Lucky Harbor series. It's just that it was released in this bind-up on November 1st, a few years ago, just in time for the holiday market. And I don't even know, how much Christmas there is in these 2 books. Someone else commented to me a while back that said, I don't remember them being Christmas themed, and I don't really know that they are. I think this was really just a way to market it at Christmas time, to be frank. So anyway, I started the first Lucky Harbor book, which is Simply Irresistible. The first chapter went fine. I enjoyed the premise and the setup and everything, but the second chapter, not so much. There were several instances of foul language, and then the talk just got raunchy, and by the end of the second chapter, I thought, I don't really want to read this. I've said in previous videos that I would give this a fair shot and I would read it, but I think I'm going to put it on hold for now. I really just don't care to read that right now, and I have so many other things that I want to read that I'm excited to read. And I hate that because so many people that I watch and that I love and respect really enjoy reading Jill Shalvis, but I just am afraid that it's not going to be for me, at least not this series. Now, maybe some of her other series have less foul language. I don't know. And the funny thing is, after reading all of the little reviews and the blurbs, I was more worried about how much sex was going to be in here. I wasn't even thinking about how many times I was going to have to hear the F word just to get through the book. So, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I mean, there's times when I understand that it can be realistic, but I really just don't enjoy reading it. I feel like it's an assault to my senses. So, anyway, for now, I'm going to DNF this one, and I'm not getting rid of it or anything. I will try it again at a later date, but for now, this one is just not really what I want to read. But this one, I am loving. Oh my goodness, I love this book. I am so excited because I have collected just about all of this series by Jodie Thomas. This is the Harmony series, and it's set in Harmony, Texas, and it is about a 16-year-old girl named Reagan who basically has no place to go. I think she's been kind of shuffled from foster home to foster home, and her parents are dead, and she meets a lady in a nursing home that she's been working in, and she gets so interested in this woman's life and history and the town where she's from, which is Harmony, Texas, and she reads her old hometown newspapers so much that she feels like she knows all the people in the town. And so when this lady passes away, she decides to just take on a new identity and go there. So when she gets there, she tells people that she is this woman's granddaughter, only the woman's brother is an elderly man still living in the community. So she turns up at his house, and he's actually letting her stay. She hasn't even told him that she's kind of taken on the identity of a family member that should be related to him, but for whatever reason, he has put her to work in his orchards, and he is letting her stay. And he's kind of an old curmudgeon. The people around the town don't really want much to do with him because he's not really got that great of a personality. But I just think that this is going to be a wonderful relationship. Now, when I first picked up this series, I thought it was going to be a romance. And I'm sure down the line, there probably will be some romance involved in it. But this is really just the kind of book that I enjoy. I love books that deal with all kinds of relationships, families, friendships, and I just think this is going to be fabulous. I'm really looking forward to reading some more of this book and the entire series now. I'm so glad that I have collected this series, and the covers are beautiful. So I'm on chapter 5 now, and I'm loving it. And I started June, which is the second book in the Brides of the West series by Lori Copeland. I ended up not reading it out of this bind-up, though. I downloaded it from Hoopla onto my Kindle, and I had my Kindle with me today. I went to sub half a day at Katie's school, and I had some time in between classes. The way the teacher schedule was structured. I had a little bit of time before I had my lunch time, and then a little bit of time after I did lunch duty before the next class came in, and then I was able to even read a little bit during class when the kids were working on their assignment. I think I read about 3 chapters of it, and I think this is going to be really good. This is about June Callahan. She's one of 3 sisters whose father passed away, and their only other elder was their aunt, who they didn't feel was financially able to take care of and support all of them. So they all 3 answered ads to be mail order brides. The one I've already read has gone to Texas, and then this one is gone to Seattle. Well, she gets there, and her husband-to-be has taken ill, and she's hardly able to even see him at all. She is allowed a couple of times to go in and see him. She does have a conversation with him. She is really excited about her decision to go there. He just seems like a wonderful man, and she's praying for him to get well, and she spends some time with him, you know, kind of nursing him at his bedside, and then she goes and leaves him to rest and gets up the next morning, and he has passed away. So that's the point where I am now, and I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know what's going to become of her, because she went across country, I think from Missouri to Seattle, to marry this man, and now he has passed. So that is sad, but you know, intriguing. What is she going to do now? So I'll let you know when I finish it. So that's all I have for this tag. If I decide to tag someone while I'm editing, I will just type it in the description box below. But this tag has been around for quite a while. I meant to look up the creator of this tag. I have watched her original video, and she seems like such a sweet person. So I will put her information down below as well, so you can go back and look at the original Try a Chapter tag. This tag has been all over the place. It's such a popular tag, but it's such a great idea. So if you haven't done it, I would encourage you to give it a try. And that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.